change making the school day like start later and end later, because a lot of kids are up till like midnight or later, either the good people doing homework or like people just staying up. And then when you get up to school, like the first and second period, everybody is asleep. Like, we've seen people actually sleeping in class.
Well, I'm going to be going into high school next year, and I'm going to be doing cross country. But I don't know if this is kind of specific to athletes in general, because if you do sports after school, it's the middle of the day and it's super hot. But if you would start school later, then you could in the morning do sports when it was cool and nice to play sports.
Or in the afternoon.
Or in the afternoon later at like 5.
So it would be easier for everyone, and I think we would all score better on tests and stuff if we could start later, so that way we could get better amounts of sleep. And it's also easier for me personally to work later at night. I have more energy, like later in the day. So if it went to like 4 or 4:30, it would be easier for me to study and focus on what I'm doing.
I think that every school should have like either a study hall or a homeroom, because it's a good time to, first of all, catch up on stuff if you don't have time at home, or if you do like sports that day, and if you already had a class and then in the middle of the day you have your homeroom, you can finish all the homework that you got for those 1 or 2 classes, so you don't have it late the next day. And then also, if you're already ahead on everything, you can like talk with your friends and like get all the talking and like chit chat out before your next class, and then it would prevent teachers from screaming.
I would also make it start later, because I feel like I also work later at night with homework and stuff. So if it started later, I can get more sleep, and I also would have time to do my homework at night.
So I wish we had study hall, because sometimes I do dance a lot, and sometimes I have to choose what class I want to get my homework done, and I just am like, oh, I know this information, so I don't do the homework for it, so I can get this other subject done. And it's really hard for me to finish all my homework when I have to do it late at night and I don't have enough time in class. Some teachers give you time in class to finish it, but a lot of teachers don't. So it'd be really helpful if we had a study hall, so that way I don't have to stress so much about not finishing a certain amount of homework and staying in for detention because I didn't finish it, or staying in during lunch or after school, so I can finish that one subject of homework.
What your homeschool?
I also like why we should start school later and end it later is because like I know a lot of kids that don't eat breakfast, and then if you don't eat breakfast, it's like not having a boost of energy. So then also like in the first couple of classes you're like until you eat lunch, and then you sort of get a little bit more energy. But if you don't have breakfast, there's like you don't feel like right.
I think we should change that, like the kids get comfier seats like couches or something. I think that we should give the kids who don't need a hard math less, but kids who want harder math more, because I really want harder math, but they always just give like 1 + 1 or something, and it's boring.
Okay, so I would say my school only has 4 periods, which I think is like very appropriate, because some schools have like 6 to 8 periods and they're only like 45 minutes long, and I feel like there's not a lot of class interaction. There's not a lot that like when you only have a small amount, that means like your teacher is more like teaching you the lesson, and therefore you have more homework because you can't do it in class, and that's probably why they want like a study hall. So if you have longer periods, then you can like have more time to interact with the teacher, ask more questions, instead of getting home and then having a ton of homework and not having anybody to ask besides your parents that might not know. So I think you should have longer periods to fit more stuff in.